everyone, and welcome to Power of Kindness, a TAL radio show about successful people spreading kindness and making a difference. This week, we had the pleasure of speaking with Cameron Elahian, founder and chairman of Innovation Catalyst. Many consider Cameron to be a visionary and inspiration due to his long career success, his dedication to innovation, and his global philanthropy. Cameron shared with us his perspective on the innovation economy and the opportunities presented to young people to have great success while following their passions and philanthropic pursuits. We discussed balancing wealth and success with kindness and giving, and how in today's day and age, the people who are making a difference in the world are also making money and finding success for themselves and others. My name is Allie with my co-host Priyanka, and now on to our interview with Cameron Elahian.
My name is Cameron Elahian, and I'm chairman of Global Innovation Catalyst. It's my pleasure to participate in this wonderful roundtable to have good conversations about the acts of kindness and how one could be an agent of change and do good in the world and also lead a great life.
Cameron, thank you so much for joining us. It is an honor to have you on the Power of Kindness show. I just wanted to give our audience a little bit of context. You are a man of great success, and you've had a long career starting very early. You founded your first company at the age of 27, is that correct?
At the age of 26, but we got our funding by the age 27.
Oh my God.
It was 9 months looking for money and begging for money before we got it.
But still, 27 to have that funding and to get started, it's incredible. You have also founded 10 multinational companies. You've been involved with startups, and you have been a leader in innovation throughout your career. I wanted to start by just going over a couple of titles that people have used to identify you. I want to start with global venture capitalist, entrepreneur, visionary, philanthropist, humanitarian, and innovation catalyst. Now, there's a lot to unpack there. There's a lot of things that we can go into and discuss, but I think I want to start with innovation catalyst. Can you explain that to our audience? What does that mean to you?
Sure. Well, actually, each one of those things that you referred have been different chapters on my book of life. So first, I was an entrepreneur, and I started, as you said, 10 companies, and 3 of them failed. 6 of them were successful, and 1 of them is still a zombie. We don't know whether it will succeed or not. And of the 6 that succeeded, 3 of them were acquired by big corporations, and 3 of them were IPOs, initial public offering. The 3 which were IPOs were all unicorns, and they had a valuation between the 3 of them over $8 billion. So that's one chapter of my life as an entrepreneur. First entrepreneur, then serial entrepreneur, then parallel entrepreneur, do several of them at the same time. The next chapter in my life was a venture capitalist. We had a global venture capital fund, $350 million, and we invested in high-tech companies in the United States, in Japan, China, India, Israel, and Singapore. So through this process, I learned a lot about how to find interesting, promising companies in different countries, and how the different ecosystems require different actions, and how challenging it is investing in different companies. Around 26 years ago, we had our first foundation efforts, Global Catalyst Foundation, and my wife and I, actually I should correct that, 24 years ago, in 1996, we started Global Catalyst Foundation, and we started to do philanthropy work in different parts of the world. Our first big project was Schools Online, which was donating computers to schools, providing training to the teachers to learn how to teach their courses using the internet, paying for the cost of access to the internet. And altogether, we work in 6,400 schools in 36 countries and helped provide professional development to over 10,000 teachers in these 36 countries. And
so, Kamran, let me interject you there. That is amazing. Did you just realize that 24 years ago, you had that vision to bring education online? And now in this whole scenario where we are facing COVID challenges, schools are all online, you actually had that 20 years ago. That's really impressive. Continue, please go ahead. I was impressed.
It's a kind of, you mentioned that you know, education has changed. It used to be that if you wanted to learn something, you had very, very limited access to the knowledge of the world. It was in the hands of the priests and the temples and the monks and the mullahs and the ayatollahs and the various different religious figures, or the royal courts, which had their own libraries that had the knowledge. With the invention of the Gutenberg press, it became available more, and the books were printed. With invention of electromechanical printing press, it became further available, and then with invention of the PCs and the connection to internet, the beginning of knowledge economy started, and we really democratized availability of content and knowledge. Where we are right now is Education 3.0, which is experiential learning. Instead of teaching, we help people really go and learn by doing something themselves. And the job of a teacher has transformed. Instead of standing in front of a class of people and teach, the teacher acts as a coach, as a mentor, and all the knowledge of the world, thanks to Apple and Google, is available with low-cost computers or mobile phones, and free articles all digitized all over the world. So it is so much is out there. The job is for people to learn on their own and have some coaches who can direct them and help them go and maneuver their way through lots of books, articles, podcasts, and videos, and learn on their own pace with proper direction. And as we go through innovation economy, it is becoming, this mentoring is two ways. One is by a person helping you, and another is for scaling up. You bring AI in there who says, based on your past interests, you have looked at this and you have read that. Here is the next article you may want to read, or the next video you should watch to become a better a better carpenter, or a better piano player, or a better teacher, or a better accountant, or whatever you want to be. And the jobs of future are all related to using the leverage of software and algorithmic content to create the jobs of future.
It's the power of knowledge, right? They always say that knowledge is power.
Well, in knowledge economy, if we look at the history, we had first agricultural economy, then we had industrial economy, then we had knowledge economy. Knowledge economy was very important because it allowed the people just use their brain rather than physical power to generate wealth. And this was an equalizer for women, as they had a chance to start to compete with men in the knowledge economy. And as you say, knowledge was power. Then around 20 years ago, we started to move into innovation economy. In innovation economy, ideas are not as important because ideas are available everywhere. Because of the broadband being available everywhere, many people read books, watch the videos, listen to podcasts, come up with ideas. And it is not so important to have a good idea. It is who can go and do a better job, a better implementation, execution of that idea. For example, one of the greatest ideas was search engine. And we all say, who is the king of search engine? Google. But Google was not the first company which had that idea. There were at least 6 other companies: Alta Vista, Ask Jeeves, Infoseek, Yahoo, Excite, so many companies who made search engines. So idea didn't have much value. Many people had this idea. They all thought search engine makes sense to have. It was Google who implemented and executed a fantastic search engine that allowed it to beat all the competition and move up. So in knowledge economy, you had to keep ideas to yourself, and patents were very important. Intellectual property was very important. Trade secrets were extremely important. But those are all things of the past. Right now, because of the broadband, the diffusion of knowledge is moving in a different way through a distributed collective intelligence of all the nodes connected to PCs used by different human beings who each go and do certain things with that knowledge. And independent of each other, they find new innovations, new ideas, new things. So it's not that important to come up with ideas. It is within this global thing, who can go and do something with that idea that has the highest value. And we have this pyramid that every task that we do, we can do it by hand. We can use the mechanical tools, electromechanical tools, use microelectronics, the chips, use software, or use algorithmic content. If we use the tools at the top of this pyramid, our productivity goes up and we can make things faster, better, higher quality, and create more wealth, more value at a shorter amount of time. And this pyramid applies to every sector and every geography, anything we do. If we looked at transportation, manual would be walking, mechanical would be to use the wheel and have a chariot that either you push or a horse carries you to, or a bicycle. Electromechanical is the cars. Microelectronics is the cars with a lot of bells and whistles and electric automatic transmission and GPS and navigation, a lot of things. When we go into software and we add a lot of things into the cars with addition of the sensors and reading the things, all of a sudden you can go and do things with algorithmic content that completely revolutionizes the transportation. If we look at a company like Uber, it doesn't do anything on manual, mechanical, electromechanical, microelectronic. It's all software and algorithmic content. You say, I need a ride, and Uber finds somebody who is available at that time, who has a good rating, and based on traffic conditions can get to you faster. And based on that, it has a higher value than General Motors plus Chrysler plus Ford combined. So the jobs at the bottom of the pyramid, the manual job mechanic, they're all going to be done by the robots. And those are not the jobs of future. Innovation economy is driven by young people coming up with a new idea and saying, how can I go and do things a different way? Not the way it was done the last 100 years. And that's how you see in innovation economy, the Amazon came and disrupted the bookstores. And then between iTunes and Spotify, the music stores all disappeared and they got disrupted. Netflix and Vimeo and Hulu totally disrupted the video rental stores, Blockbuster. You will see with the emergence of the blockchain, the banks are going out of business. Combination of blockchain and mobile payment, bank after bank after bank is going to go out of business. With the emergence of the low orbit satellites, all of the phone companies, the ones you know from AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, Deutsche Telekom, France Telecom, any of these, they're all gonna be gone, one after another. They will go bankrupt. So the world is continuously going to be changed in innovation economy. And where do ideas come from? Young people. And this is for the first time in evolution of our species, that the youth who have ability and propensity for change can become the kings and queens of economy. Because they don't need the approval of the old men in charge. They are disrupting their business. This is a whole new thing. And more important, women have a chance not just to be equal, but actually have advantage over men. Why? Because multitasking is very key in innovation economy. And women are raised from young age to do many things at once. And when I was growing up, all I had to do was be a good boy and go to school and get good grades. But my sister, who was only 3 years older than me, she had to also be a good girl, go to school, get good grades, but she also had to take care of me, had to take care of my younger brother, had to help my mom with cooking, and had to help my mom with shopping. So at any moment, she had to go and decide, what do I do now? Multitasking. Do I study for my own? Do I help mom with shopping? Do I help mom with cooking? Do I take care of younger brother? What to do? A lot of algorithmic thinking, a lot of setting of priorities. So women, by definition, have had a chance to learn these skills. Another key skill for innovation economy is collaboration. As we discussed, your ability not to keep the knowledge to yourself, but go and share it and learn how to attract other people and help them come and work with you to develop your idea. And women are a lot better typically in collaboration and in community creation and working. They have been trained to do that. Men have been trained to be individualistic in general. I'm making, big general assumptions, but in many countries, boys are taught to be independent and stand up, keep everything to yourself, don't show your emotions, don't talk or whatever. And the women are taught, no, collaborate, create a community, work with everyone, do the things. So innovation economy is the first time in evolution of our species that I believe young people have advantage over old people, And women may have a bit more advantage for the first time than ever before. And this has quite an amazing potential because if you think about it, most of the international agencies, whether it is United Nations, whether it is World Bank, IMF, they always look at youth as a liability. Young people who do not have jobs, are not educated, become gang members, become criminals, become terrorists, depressed, drug users, all those things. For the first time, you can look at the youth as a major asset. And any country that has more younger people can generate higher value. And if you look at doing good, if you look at UN SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, out of the 17 goals, something like 6, 7, 8 of them could be directly addressed if you create jobs of future for the young people. Whether it is SDG 1, which is poverty, SDG 2, which is hunger, whether you look at the rights for women, whether you look at what is the SDG 3, is it the health and the well-being, all of these, if you create jobs of future, good paying, meaningful jobs of future, you solve many, many problems of the society. And young people can become the agents of change that can do good and also generate wealth for themselves and for a lot of other people.
Very well said, Kamran. So building on that, you talked about the innovation economy, then you talked about the pyramid, and then you also talked about the young that can make a change, be an agent of change. So we covered a lot of industries, but what is your view in the philanthropy side of things? Do you think similarly innovation economy is really rampant there? Do you think that young and youth can really make an influence in that section? What are your thoughts on that?
Actually, I like philanthropy. I believe in philanthropy. I don't like charity because charity is not sustainable. And in my opinion, if you look at it, the meaning of philanthropy does not need to be non-profit, does not need to be somebody that suffers and sacrifices a lot. If I look at positive social impact, if you can go and create significant positive social impact, and in the process generate a lot of revenues and generate a lot of profits, more power to you. It's a whole different way of looking at it. Many times I think about it, so what is number one highest positive social impact company in the world? I would say it's Apple Computer. Apple Computer brought the access to computers, created a huge leverage from the hands of a few who could spend millions of dollars to buy these expensive computers to mobile phones that were easy to use. Remember, Windows wasn't easy to use. You had to type in Control-Alt-Delete just to get it started. With the iPhone, you just tap on it and bang, it starts to go. And it allowed everything to be accessible at low prices. Today, you can buy a smartphone, iPhone lookalike, for less than $50. In many countries, in developing countries, Apple was the one who really helped create that with bringing the price down from big mainframes to personal computers with Apple II, and then the Macintosh, and then the iPod, and then the iPad and iPhone, and each one got easier and easier, and lower price to go and bring the leverage of computing and artificial intelligence in the hands of everyone. Google, I would say, is number 2 in the highest positive social impact. It put all the knowledge of the world in every language together for you to tap into for free, whether that knowledge are the books or the music or the videos on the YouTube or whatever, or whether they are the maps, or all of this for free, available to everyone. And look at these 2 companies. Are they the ones that have low valuation? No, they have consistently been top, highest value companies out there. So you can do a lot of good and also make a lot of money. So what's the difference between Apple and Google versus Exxon versus a gambling company, a casino, versus a tobacco company? What is the difference? In capitalism 1.0, which is still being taught to everyone, is the mantra is maximize shareholder profit. That's all that matters. So maximize shareholder profit. So if in the process you kill your customers, that's okay. I mean, think about it. Tobacco companies, oil and gas companies, what do? They pollute the air, they kill all of us slowly. Tobacco companies directly kill. What are the gambling companies, casinos? Their main goal is to separate you from your money, steal your money. The moment you become good in learning how to play blackjack and counting the cards, they blacklist you so you cannot go and play in casino. So their business model is take your money away. So capitalism 1.0, the basic mantra has been maximize shareholder profits. In innovation economy, it's different. If you talk to entrepreneurs starting any company, you say, why did you start your company? What you are doing? They typically start to say, I wanted to develop a product or a service that did this thing for my customers, did that thing for that. Customer was the forefront, that I want to do something to solve a problem for the customer. So constituent number 1 was the customer. And in innovation economy, because it's very competitive and you need the best brains and the most capable people to work with you, you have to take care of your employees. So high-tech companies, the good ones, they give shares of stock to everybody. They don't treat them in a dictatorial style. It's not hierarchy. It's a lot of cooperation. And it's not management, because people don't like to be managed. They're not cows. They're not cattle. They're inspired to go and do good. We are in this thing together. Our stock goes up. We all make money. The third constituent is your suppliers. In innovation economy, you know that things change up and down very quickly. You take care of your suppliers. You select them carefully, but you build long-term relationship with them. And you know that if you just squeeze them too much, today, tomorrow, when economy changes or they have upper hand, they would squeeze you. So the good, successful companies work out win-win situations rather than win-lose situation. So that's the third constituent. The fourth constituent is the environment and the civic society, the community. Take care of the planet, take care of the community, be a good corporate citizen, help other people, do the right things. And if you did these 4 things right, take care of your customers, take care of your employees, take care of your suppliers, and take care of the environment and the community, your shares automatically go up and you will become very successful company. You don't believe me? Look at the top 10 highest value companies. 10 years ago, they were the likes of Exxon and oil companies and Procter & Gamble and all of the Walmart, all of these things. You look at today's, they are the Google and Apple and Amazon and Facebook and Tencent and Alibaba, and try to go and convince somebody to leave this company. Go and ask people, why do you like Amazon? Why do you like Google? Customers are really loyal to this and say, hey, I really like this service. I really like this. But they are not suffering. In Capitalism 1.0, they say, nice people finish last. And therefore, go and milk everybody for all they have, and the hell with customers, the hell with employees, fire them, do whatever you want, just make money, take care of shareholders. In innovation economy, in Capitalism 2.0, it said, no, you have 4 constituents, take care of these 4, the 5th constituent automatically is taken care of. So all your 5 constituents, your customers, your employees, your suppliers, the environment, and your shareholders are important. Don't sacrifice any one of them. And you can be very successful. So it's a different approach to philanthropy. It's a different approach to positive social impact.
And on that note, I think we are out of time for this week, but Cameron, if you have time, I'd love to continue this conversation, and we will post it next week if that works for you. Do you have a few minutes to continue talking?
Sure.
Thank you so much for joining us this week on Power of Kindness, a TAL radio show powered by Touch a Life Foundation. We will continue our conversation with Cameron next time, where he shares his advice on how young people can take advantage of the tools given to them to have great success while doing good. In the meantime, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn at TAL Giving. That's TAL Giving. And visit touchalife.org to listen to other shows on TAL Radio and learn how you can make a difference in your community with Touch Life Foundation and the TAL Giving app. Remember, one act of kindness can make a difference. My name's Allie with my co-host Priyanka. We'll see you next week.